What event, if it happened in reverse order, would be a horrible experience? A birthday party, where all your friends run off with your shit. Also everyone sings happy birthday in reverse. The good thing is that it circumvents copyright claims. The bad thing is that it would probably sound demonic. Birth. Like Dr. I still see the head. Everyone excluding patient 32. One push-in. In this universe, birth is when the atoms coalescing around your skeleton gain consciousness, and your body gradually becomes more efficient throughout life, until about 2 decades from the end, when you suddenly start to rapidly shrink and lose your mental capacity, and have to be shoved into a mother, where you decompose over 9 months. Terrifying. But first, your body has to be dug up from the cemetery, and your headstone tells people when you will wake up. We need to dig out this one before the weekend. They need to be in the hospital on Sunday. Taking a shit. There is a Piers Anthony book, Bearing an Hourglass, that deals with that. The incarnation of time is fighting a villain and making his body reverse its actions through time. The villain is resisting, but when it gets to the point where he is walking backwards towards a bathroom, he shrieks and surrenders. That was a fun book. I liked the first few of that series. On a Pale Horse 100%. A butcher shop would be the hardest puzzle ever. The masters would be farmland necromancers. Wouldn't farming pretty much be the same? You add some type of fruit onto a plant, then it gets smaller and smaller as you vacuum water out, and once in the ground then you take a seed out, presumably to take to a market store. Tooth extraction at the dentist would become a tooth insertion, with the Novocaine shot at the end, except it would be a shot to extract the Novocaine. I think everyone read this wrong reverse order, not just in reverse. So take everything that happened and do it from last to first. 1. Wash hands. 2. Flush toilet. 3. Pull up your pants. 4. Wipe your butt. 5. Take a shit. 6. Pull down your pants. Sneezing. That would be like getting punched in the face. The cartoon version of this playing out is hilarious. Vomiting. Tastes gross leaving. Would taste worse coming in. Rescuing young children out of a house fire would end up being children being placed in a house that's on fire, but the house itself would slowly stop burning and return to normal, basically putting out the fire with children. Babies and elderly still seems bad, but if he already safely escaped, by the time the kids were back in bed the fire would be at a safe level and then go out. Tenet is Tenet backwards. Bram. From Red Dwarf Santa Claus. What a bastard. Comes into your house and steals all your favorite toys. In 50 years time, the Second World War will start. Backwards. Millions of people will come to life. Hitler will retreat across Europe, liberate France and Poland, disband the Third Reich, and bog off back to Austria. Or if the events happen reverse, but without actually reversing time, the USA drops nuclear bombs on Japan, which leads to Hitler committing suicide, which sets off a whole chain of events that leads to a world war, and at least for the USA ends with Japan bombing Pearl Harbor. Does that mean Japan wins in this timeline? Getting married. You would start off content relieved, then give your family friends a bunch of gifts you really want, vomit up a bunch of food you love. Some guy would publicly divorce you from your partner. You would spend a few hours putting out last minute fires, and you would end the day full of anxiety and staring at your weather app of choice, fearful of rain. And then your family would eventually unwrap the gifts you gave them, only to take them back to the store. It is just like Christmas. Taking a test in school. You start out with a completely filled out test, then you methodically erase every single answer, turn in a blank paper, and everyone has wasted their time. Well, at least it would probably be done very quickly, since you are often struggling and feeling nervous while writing a test. You now instead struggle and feel nervous while erasing it. What if you erased something sloppily? Did I miss a spot? You think. While at the same time, being very careful not to rip or accidentally crumple the paper, because that would lower your grade, perhaps even fail you. And if you fail this test you might have to retake the entire course, perhaps spend another year in school, or you might not get into the university you are hoping for. People you know will venture out in the world. They will get well-paying jobs, buy a house, Find a beautiful partner meanwhile you are stuck in your hometown, unable to get away, all due to the poorly erased test. Since everyone turns in a blank test, everyone gets a 0 on the test and therefore fails it. But that's assuming they have erased it properly. Improperly erased tests will be scored low using negative grades. And that is very bad. The objective is to fail successfully. Funerals. Instead of being buried, someone is dug up, then come to life. The shit would be terrifying. Now it would be cool as duck. Necromancy. Who am I supposed to bang now? War basically becomes a zombie uprising where people come back to life and bullets fly out of them towards you. This is basically Tenet. I need to go back and watch that again. The whole time I was like, I think this is awesome. It is definitely the most Christopher Nolan movie ever, which is both a good and bad thing. I feel like Tenet, by its very nature, requires 2 viewings to be fully experienced. Much of the story takes place in the beginning, but only if you have context from the ending. It's amazing. Also, side note, remember in the end when one group is counting up from 10 and the others are counting down from 10. Tenet. Death. You are just chillin' in the void or heaven or wherever, and all of a sudden you are torn away and you find yourself trapped in a flesh prison with the burden of consciousness and sentience. Oh wait, that's birth. On the contrary, you are built by maggots, worms and flesh-eating bacteria vomiting your existence. You gradually become more aware of your surroundings. And you have what? 40 years to plan your prime reproduction. Then you gradually become smaller, get more attention, and get shoved into genitalia to continue to not exist. Once again. Do you like Tool? Just asking. Passing a kidney stone. Not that passing a stone is not already a horrible experience, but imagine a stone being flung towards a dick, as if it were a vacuum, and being sucked in. Like an elephant eating a peanut. Joke, my father told me a man loses his dick in a car crash, and as an experimental treatment the doctors attach a trunk from a small elephant. After it heals he is thrilled, and goes about his life. A few months later he comes back to complain. The doctor asks, has the transplant been rejected? He replies, no, but I sure wish it would stop picking up nuts off the ground and shoving them up my butt. Yeah, that deserves an upvote. Blowjob. Someone vomits up your cum and spits it back into your urethra. They start by vomiting up your cum and then spitting it into the dick, and then proceed to give the blowjob until your dick goes soft. LOL, exactly. That's hilarious. Just getting a blowjob until the dick goes soft and that's it. She stops. LOL. Dementia is basically growing up, but in reverse. Life in general. Imagine an average day. Starting at falling asleep. You are now awake and feeling absolutely drained. You head to the bathroom and unclean your teeth. After wiping yourself with a towel to get wet, you step into the shower, which slowly both makes you more dry and dirtier. You then get into some dirty clothes and begin to wonder what kind of nightmare this is. You wander around the house, checking the window locks, and inexplicably you unlock a few at random. Perhaps you will even open one or two. Your tired state is not coping well with why you might be doing this at 10 PM in the evening. You slump down to watch a movie you watched once before and thought was good. But oh no, this is not good at all. They have started off by revealing the ending, and as it continues you find yourself knowing less and less and wondering what the heck is going on. Finally, as the ending beginning movie producer logos appear, you switch it off in disgust, wondering why on earth you chose to do such a stupid thing. You head into the kitchen, and for reasons unknown, you decide to unclean some dishes, and then vomit up food which leaps from your mouth to the fork in surprisingly good condition. You are fascinated at the ease with which you managed to assemble a meal from food that has come from a very confusing place. And you are equally fascinated at your new ability to uncook food and restock your cupboards and refrigerator. But man, it is not a physically enjoyable experience given how hungry you are now. You are puzzled as to why, seemingly against your will. You then head into work. You sit down, open your proudest work, and then slowly delete it. The unworking day holds only one or two more surprises. You expected the vomit food assembly at lunch, but your visit to the bathroom was an eye-opener. The biggest shock, I suppose, was standing in front of the bowl thinking how dumb it was, because you did not even need to take a piss. Well, now you do. But the feeling passes. You frantically try to put the thought out of your head about what another particular bodily function is going to be like. Feeling strangely refreshed after completely uncreating things for a whole unworking day, you head home. You have noticed that your clothes have been getting wetter throughout the day. Backwards rain is wild. You think to yourself, feeling the freshest you have all day, you vomit up your morning caffeine and breakfast, enter a bleary-eyed state and get into bed. My brain would not be able to handle things being backwards. My brain would pop. Also, everyone would literally become dumber over time. You are a really good writer. I enjoyed this. Yeah, that was great. Lucky you commented. I had just decided to skip it for being too long. Grocery shopping. Take all of the fresh delicious food out of your house. Drive to the supermarket and put it back in the shelves. But you get paid. Getting your foot run over by a lawnmower. In the right order, it is a painful experience that results in blood and foot bits all over. In reverse, it is a painful experience because the lawnmower is still running over your foot. But also someone somehow has to give you blood and put all your skin and fascia back together. I'm getting sympathy pains in my foot from my own comment. Eating. Not just vomiting out food, but the whole process. Turn that poop into wine. People would start worshipping you as the second coming of Jesus. And who is to blame them? Turning piss to wine is equally if not more miraculous than water to wine. Pregnancy. Essentially, you would have a child shoved in your womb, where they slowly decompose until it is just fluid dripping out of you, shoved back in feet first. Imagine having a reverse orgasm. You start in ecstasy, but suddenly it disappears, and you feel it going away little by little, until the point you are just really horny. Infinite torture. Shitting. Imagine you sit on a toilet, and it spits a sopping wet turd rocket up your hole. Okay, my dick is hard. Keep going. You are a treasure. Open heart surgery. They cut you open and tinker about inside you. Then they give you an aesthetic. Plus they have given you more heart problems. I found it funny that so many people's minds went straight to are absorbing their crap. I think OP was asking for that by putting NSFW in the title. Whether or not they realized what to expect, well yeah, but it is still funny though. Dying. You feel all the pain as your body just mishmashes back into a perfectly stable body. Even worse if the death is painful. Imagine just feeling yourself get absorbed back into yourself. And just coming back to life with the knowledge of what comes after death. Absolute horror. Making a beautiful piece of art. You start with a beautiful, sentimental painting. And you vandalize it by stripping off the paint until all that's left of the masterpiece is a blank canvas. Getting a shitty gift. You'd be disappointed. Have a duck ton of shredded gift wrap. Have to piece it back together. And are at the shitty gift. Getting shrapnel pulled out of your body. It's super painful. Shaving. It would be like painting hair on your face. Getting duct. Whatever way you look at it. Doesn't sound fun. Still the same movement. But the dick sucks the cum out of the pussy. Spitting on the street. I'm just trying to figure out what finding your virginity looks like. You dig up your wife. Keep her in a bed for 10 years. Then you start having sex with her more and more often until finally you take her to a restaurant and leave her there. Colonoscopy. Here we are gonna probe your butt. Then give you the relaxing drugs. Going to sleep. Is not this just waking up? Exactly. It's the worst. Oh shit. You are absolutely right. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.